deer have been walking right through here. We've had some people ask, how we set the mill up, so I figured I'd just give a quick rundown on it. When we're doing different types of material, different species of wood, we sort of set things up differently. Right now we're milling up walnut. We've got a whole bunch of walnut. I brought a tandem load in. So it's a little tricky when you get a tree from an arborist. They really don't care about length, so they just chop it up into 4.5 footers, 9 3/4, 11 7/8. They just mix things up. So it's not your standard 8.5s, 10.5s, 12.5s, 16.5s kind of stuff. So it's a little tricky to get your head around what it is you're going to do and how you're going to mill it. So we've got a couple of different stations set up. Shorties on these 7.5 foot pallets, charcuterie boards, small kind of whatever, coat racks that people might want to make, oddballs that come off, we'll just throw off to the side and we'll make a stack for those as well. I think we put, if you check out on the forklift right now, we've got some 11.5 footers milled at 6/4, maybe for bench or for shelves. A lot of times you try to get the most out of the wood that you can, and a lot of people want 6/4. They don't want 8/4 right now. It's too thick for whatever reason. So I just mill up what I feel we can get out of the log, maximize our yield. So, by milling at 6/4 instead of 8/4, we get 2 extra boards out of that. So if we can sell a board for, pick a price, $200 for 8/4 or 175 for 6/4, you're making a bit more coin on it. So yeah, what we do is we'll just line up the pallets, fill them up. This guy's too wide for the mill, so this is going to go off to our chainsaw mill area, so we can rip that one out. Nice crotch wood, of course. We have our station set up for cutting up firewood. So if we're cutting cedar or pine or spruce, it all goes on there. Chop it up in 16 inches and we're good to go. We put them in our little cabans, I call them, and so we have our firewood all ready. We'll also put, of course, any hardwood that we're milling up. It'll go in there and we'll chop that up into firewood as well, and then we'll split it. So this is what we put our firewood in. So we've got some cedar in the bottom there, we've got some ash in here, and we'll pile more cedar into there. And all these are, you can see right there. So at Home Depot, Canadian Tire, any one of the places, Loblaws, Superstore, anybody that sells plants in the summer, they get those in. We go in and we just pick up a whole bunch of them. You're usually just tossing them out at the end of the season. Then we use nasty old boards, box them in, and they're instant little outhouses to put wood in. Pretty cool, right? Or to store things in, just keep the weather off your materials, your chainsaws, whatever. This here is our water container. We have a little Honda pump that we just pull it out of our reservoir there. That's going to be probably empty midsummer. We just fill up our water jugs to lube the wood, or lube the bandsaw when it's milling. Really handy. Usually we just want to get up here and mill, and we got to get things done fast because we're heading back to the city, but we're moving here, so we're going to be here 24/7, so we might as well have everything set up the way that we want it to be. So everything runs slick and tickety-boo. We spent 2 days setting up this, cleaning up the area, working on the forklift, getting our well in. Yeah, that's it. We have a little burn barrel here for the scraps. Toss the stuff in there, the garbage wood, or we stack it over there in the pile. It's just sometimes sometimes that pile burns a little too big and bright, if you know what I'm saying. So this here sort of keeps things under control. Once we're done all our walnut, we've got it stacked up over at the other place there. But once we're done that, then we got to get into these piles. And unfortunately, that's a mix of spruce, cedar, and pine. And when it's messed up, it's a bit of a tricky thing. So they're all different lengths, different species. So then it's almost like, you know, do we pull it apart, restack it, just do one species at a time so we can stack them nice, or do we just set up a whole bunch of bunks across here and just pull them off the mill and stack them and away we go? Probably going to end up doing that because you'll spend half a day moving that stuff around. So that's about it. Hey, what else can we talk about?
Have you showed them the chainsaw mill?
No, that'll be a whole other video. The chainsaw mill video, we're going to put a chestnut milling video up for that. We'll be getting into the big walnut. We've got a whole bunch more walnut to do yet. I'm just waiting to find nails in that because it came from a city tree. Yeah, I think that's about it. Just wanted to show you guys the milling area pretty quickly, how we sort of roll. The goal this summer is to get this underneath a building so we don't cook, and to also get most of the milling done before the real hot weather comes. So that's it. Let's get on to this.